The U.S. media attacks Trump for doing the exact same thing Obama did on his first trip to China. The media attacked President Donald. Actually, you know what? Before we start, there's a couple things I forgot. I'm compiling yet another list of YouTube channels that have been removed on the basis of this thing called deceptive. I think it's called like deceptive practices having to do with spam. And I think what they're doing is taking channels that have narratives that are contrary to the corporate media about, for example, the Las Vegas shooting. And also there's another user, Baked Alaska, has received a community guideline strike for, and this is amazing, a video in which he is attacked by Antifa. They, from what I understand, sprayed him in the face with bear mace or something like this, and it caused damage to his eyes. And his video that he made about this incident was removed by YouTube and assessed a community guideline strike, so he can't live stream for 3 months. So if anyone knows, I'm going to do a video about these. I'm kind of collecting them. So if anyone has any channels that we have not covered that have been removed by YouTube or ridiculous community guideline strikes are, or if you have any examples of any ridiculous community guideline strikes, let me know. Email hardnewsnetwork@gmail.com, and I will add them to the list. And then I think someone in the chat asked about the timeline for the studio. Yeah, we're looking good for January 1st. I don't really think that's going to be an issue. I'm hoping to do it sooner than that, but January 1st, yeah, I don't really think there's going to be an issue with the timeline. Anyway, let's get to this. U.S. media attacks Trump for doing the exact same thing Obama did on his first trip to China. The media attacked President Donald Trump Thursday for not insisting that journalists be allowed to ask questions at a joint press conference with Chinese President Xi Jinping, forgetting that former President Barack Obama did the same thing on his first trip to China. Reporters from CNN and MSNBC decried the president for holding a joint press conference with Xi that did not allow journalists to ask questions of the two leaders, yet in their rush to criticize Trump, they forgot their history, specifically Obama's first visit to Beijing. The two presidents did not take questions from the crowd, sparking outrage among some reporters, even though the previous administration did the same. Jeremy Diamond said Trump just became the first U.S. president since George H.W. Bush to not take questions from reporters alongside his Chinese counterpart. On his first visit here, Clinton, G.W. Bush, and Obama all made a point of doing it. Get out. What the fuck is that guy's name? I don't even remember. But that is a lie. CNN's Jeremy Diamond, who later issued a Maury Povich. Call Maury Povich because that is a lie. CNN's Jeremy Diamond, who later issued a correction and deleted his tweet, was joined by Jake Tapper and MSNBC's Chuck Todd. Chuck Todd said, China isn't supposed to have a say about press access. Previous press secretaries used to fight with Chinese counterparts for press access when in China, witnessed personally. Tapper created a long thread on the issue. Jake Tapper said the Chinese government never wants to take questions from U.S. reporters. In the past, American presidents have insisted upon it as a demonstration of standing up for the freedoms that our nation believes in. So I guess Jake is ignoring the story about Twitter, Donald Trump's Twitter, when he was told that there were a lot of rules that China had, and Trump said he was going to tweet whatever the fuck he wanted. Of course, I'm editorializing the word fuck. He did not, unfortunately, use the word fuck. Jake Tapper also said there's nothing strong about acceding to the wishes of an oppressive communist government by going along with its contempt for freedom of the press. One can issue as many condemnations of communism as one wants on paper. They're meaningless if one bows to totalitarianism. Jake, you're going a bit over the top sir. Oh my God. Tapper acknowledged his mistake in a long tweet after his original thread. CNN criticized the president for his actions in an article on Trump's trip to China, but was forced to issue a correction. Correction. This story has been updated to reflect neither Trump nor President Barack Obama took questions alongside his Chinese counterpart during their first visit to the country. A previous version misstated that Obama had. Even Susan Rice, Obama's national security advisor, attacked the president and his press secretary for supposedly kowtowing to the Chinese government and restricting free speech. Lame, she said. Caitlin Collins asked why President Trump didn't take questions from reporters. Today, Sarah Sanders says, it was at the Chinese insistence there were no questions today. Susan Rice, they always insist, Sarah. The trick is to use diplomacy to extract the concession as a matter of principle despite their resistance. Bitch, go unmask another person. While it's true that past presidents, including Obama on a later trip, took questions at press conferences with Chinese leaders, Obama did not insist that journalists be allowed to ask questions during a joint press conference with former President Hu Jintao on his first visit to Beijing in 2009. So I think it's interesting. They're always trying to paint Trump as a totalitarian dictator that's going to take away freedom of the press and free speech, when in reality, their side have the ones that are arguing for whether it's regulation of the internet, complaining about fake news. They don't really give a fuck about fake news if it promotes their bullshit. They like fake news. They just don't like it when it comes from conservatives. And a lot of the times, the fake news, quote unquote, that they claim is coming from conservatives is actually the opposite of that.